Welcome to MCO Talk episode 12. We are live with my guest co-host tonight, Amanda Pensat, aka Roxy Digital, and Sue B. Zimmerman, the Instagram expert. Hi, Sue. Welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Absolutely excited to be here.
Amanda, thank you for joining me. So Amanda is, we're just going to call you Roxy for the duration.
Yeah, just call me Roxy. That's fine.
So actually, I'm going to have you introduce yourself because it's the first time for Amanda to be on the show, and now she's actually co-hosting. She loves Instagram, Sue. So I was like, there's nobody better to be on the show tonight than her to be able to interact with you. So introduce yourself. Tell us what you're up to. Tell us what you're doing. I know you have some cool stuff going on, so go ahead and let the viewers know what's up.
Yeah, for sure. So, hi everyone. I'm Amanda, or just Roxy Digital, as you probably know me. I know Vin because we actually are both co-founders of Social Road Trip, and hopefully you've seen some tweets about that lately. We're basically working with Joel and Matt Hannaford, and we are working to kind of get people together online and take that relationship offline. And we're going to be hosting a lot of different meetups and events and cool stuff for you guys around the US and hopefully later around the globe, which would be ideal. But in the meantime, I love Instagram. I actually have two accounts. One is Roxy Digital, and that's just my personal account. And then the other one that I have is called Travel with Roxy, and that's simply just a travel account. So I love to travel, and it just kind of shows everywhere where I've been and tells a story with it too. So hopefully,
we gotta get some tips here because Sue, she's been rocking out on Instagram, and I would love to hear your tips on how to tweak it because I look at what she's doing and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. It's way better than what I do. And I'm sure, oh, you could be even better. So that would be awesome. But.
Yeah. Is she Roxy Digital on Instagram?
I'm Roxy Digital. That's my personal one, but I'm not rocking out on Roxy Digital. I'm rocking out on Travel with Roxy, which is just my travel Instagram page. So one's personal and one's more just for travel.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just checking out what's going on the chat here. We're rocking and rolling. People are rolling in here. Let's jump right in. I have a special surprise for Sue around 9:45, and I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Oh, good. I love surprises. Thank you.
Let's start with the new changes. Actually, yeah, let's start with the new updates on Instagram because it's like the hot topic. I got a lot of questions about that today, and everybody was asking me, what's going on? How does this fit? Brian Fanzo and I were talking about it a little earlier, and we think it's fantastic for search. But I'd love to hear from you, Sue. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm actually super, super jazzed about it. Yesterday, my team and I were jumping up and down with the announcement. It means so many great things for business owners all over the world. It doesn't matter what size your business is. It all happens in the Explore button, and the Explore button is the button that looks like the magnifying glass, where you can go in and you can now see what's trending, people that are trending, places that are trending, and it's amazing. You can also see what hashtags are trending, very similar to what's trending on Twitter, and hopefully will be trending tonight, Vinny. So hopefully everyone out there will be tweeting out the hashtag and will be trending. But for anyone that is challenged with what to post or what hashtags to use, and also I'll talk about the geotag in a minute, but you can go into Instagram every day and kind of ride on the coattails of other people's success, or in the very, very least, do some market research. And when you go in and see what is trending, okay, so I'm going to just go in right now in real time with you guys. I want to look at, let's see. Well, I think they choose about 10 different trending topics at a time. So the Yankees are trending, and what happens when you are trending on Instagram, the top 6 photos that show up are the ones that have had the most likes in that tag category. And if you look at those likes and you look at those photos, there's a reason why. All of them are great quality photos, and all of them have different angles, or there's some artistry around the photo. I especially like the field, the red and the green field photo on the right. So if you click in and you look at the Yankees, which is trending as one of the tags, you will see that. And then below it, what's really cool, I'm going to call you Roxy because I just think Roxy's so much cooler.
Yeah,
Roxy and Vinny. What's really cool is that you get to see the most recent posts that are being uploaded. Now, one of the negative things that I think is going to start happening, which I don't like, is that people are going to be crash tagging a hashtag just for the sake of getting eyeballs on their photo. And so people might be posting a photo and using hashtags that have no relevant context to that image. And I'm not going to like that as a user, just like to gamify the hashtag that's trending. But if your content aligns with these trending tags, absolutely go in there and seize the opportunity to use one of them, because you get to use 30 per post if you want to use all 30, and you can really jump into some of these trending tags. So I'm completely thrilled. I see this as a huge game changer. In fact, Vinny, I did my slide deck for Social Media Day for the 30th, and we pretty much did my whole presentation based around some of these changes that rolled out yesterday on Instagram.
Hey, Sue, how many tags do you usually use in a post? Like, is there a specific number? I know you mentioned 30, but are you more for using all 30, or are you using less tags but better quality tags for your better community?
It all depends on what I'm posting and what my goals are with the tags. And I will tell you that because I have a good following now on all my accounts, I pretty much get the same amount of likes, tags, or no tags. It's just a matter of, do I want to show up in the hashtag hub around certain content? So I call hashtags for me hashtag hubs, because I use certain hashtags that are more unique to my business and my brand, so that I get curated in that community, if you will, such as the one that we just created tonight on Instagram with your hashtag and MCEO Talk. Let's see if there's any tags in there. Yeah, so there's 3 tags in there, and it's interesting because I don't know why bacon is in there. That doesn't have anything to do with it. Clearly someone's crash tagged the hashtag.
I think that's Aaron Kilby.
Okay, so I'm a little confused with that. However, what I love seeing below it, you guys, is that every single post that you've made on Instagram is showing up as the most recent. So to answer your question, Roxy, I know some Instagram accounts that have huge success using a minimal amount of hashtags, because people go to their account because they know exactly what they're going to get with their visual content, which is spot on with their brand. And so they might just use a couple of hashtags. I like to use hashtags such as Instagram coach, Instagram speaker, Instagram marketer, Instagram for business. I like to show up in anything that has to do with teaching Instagram for business.
Right.
So I purposely go in there and put those hashtags in the secondary comments, not the initial description. And as I'm sure you know, about a month ago, Instagram changed the way that hashtags get curated, which means as soon as your photo gets posted, it becomes a timestamp, and any hashtags that you use get stamped for that time. So even if you put your hashtags in an hour later, a day later, you're going to show up in that hashtag feed and that hashtag hub depending on when you initially posted it. So I'm curious, Angie, you've got a beautiful, beautiful Instagram account, and how are you using it for your travel page? Are you only doing a few?
Absolutely. No, actually. So I started this travel page literally about a month ago, and it was just a born idea. I said I had thousands of photos on my computer, and no one was seeing them, and they were beautiful photos. So Instagram seemed like the perfect outlet for me to be able to showcase kind of just what I'm doing in my travels, even though they're not current. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm repurposing old content, and I'm using some of the filters, and I'm making them look extra pretty. But the hashtags, in my personal account, if you're following me on both, you'll see in the personal account I'm very weak at hashtags. I'm not good at them because the content is just so all over the board. But when you go with travel, you have very specific hashtags like travel Igers, which is Instagram, IG, just like, you know, vacation, holiday, whatever it is. And then if you get more specific into like sunsets, you have sunset, insta sunset, clouds, sky, I mean, all these things. So I think the hashtags, I've been using 30 per photo. And I think that's helped me get a following, but at the same time, it's also quality pictures and storytelling, which I have started to do more in my captions.
So I'm going to interrupt for a second, and I want to know, based on that, so Amanda says she uses 30. Sue says it really doesn't matter if you've built the community. But I want to know this now, with the new rules and the time stamping, does that 30 have to go right in the caption, or can you put it in the comment?
You put it in the comment, and Vince, I absolutely use hashtags. I'm just saying that I don't, if I forgot to put them in, frequently I'll still get great engagement. And for me, engagement isn't just the likes. Engagement for me are the comments and the validation of what I'm posting and the conversation in the comments. Roxy, she gets a lot more likes on average than I get on my post. Part of it is, quite frankly, the age bracket that we are in. I mean, my daughter, who is 19, gets over 500 likes on a piece of guacamole toast because she's fresh, fit, and fearless, and she's got a great account. But people, if I posted that same picture, I might get 100 likes. What you're doing, Roxy, what I like is you have your unique hashtag, Travel with Roxy. But what I don't endorse, and I'm just telling you this, I never endorse using love, follow for follow, F for F, all those very, very popular ones that move so quickly, and where I find there's a lot of spammers. I stay away from all the popular hashtags. I find the ones that are really hyper-focused for the person that I'm trying to attract. What are they searching for to find me? So I don't gamify with any of the popular hashtags ever.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I've been kind of dabbling between if I should be doing that or not. A lot of it was kind of a social experiment, to be honest with you, because I had my personal account, and also it's private, so I've realized you can't really use hashtags and optimize your account if it's private, so I figured I'm going to make this public. I'm going to make it just do everything that I don't do on my personal account and just see what happens. And I think that's attributed to its exponential growth in the last, like, 28 days. It's almost like 7,000 followers or so. I mean, but it's not, like you said, it's about the engagement. It's not about just the numbers. And I like comments too, but I like to ask my viewers, or my audience, I guess you could say, you know, tell me about your travel experiences. I want to hear about what you have to say, so that way I can engage with them and I can comment back to them. So it's more than just a like.
Absolutely. We're all preaching the same. It's all about the community. Yes.
I had the pleasure of sitting in on Savvy Sexy Social Live, in which you were a special guest, and we had about a half hour with you, which is fantastic. I couldn't get enough because I don't use Instagram nearly enough, and your hashtag strategy, I know it's a whole course, so you don't have to give it away all the time. But your top 3 tips for hashtagging, I remember, like, location and anything specific, and then you'll go a little more generic.
Yeah, so you want to think of it as, in your space that you serve, what are the broad keywords in that space? Okay, so let me give you an example from my store on the Cape, my retail store. I'm a small business owner, like many of the people tuning in, so let me just dial this down for them. So my store is on Cape Cod. I sell clothing, jewelry, and accessories. So all 3 of those words, like outfit of the day, wrist party, but the type of style that I sell, it's preppy. Okay, it's nautical, so that's bringing it down a notch. And then to get really specific with the items that I sell, it's the starfish necklace or the anchor bracelet. So if people are searching very specifically for an item, they stumble upon it in the feed. And I will tell you, this is why I'm teaching Instagram, because my sales at my store increased 40% 2 summers ago. And people would walk into my store and they would say to me, I'm going to actually pull up the account and hopefully you guys can see it, Cape Cod. They would say to me, Sue, I want those rope bracelets that I saw on Instagram. This happened all day long from posts that I was posting. But here's what you need to know. It wasn't just me posting. I had every one of my employees be buzz agents on my behalf. And all the girls that work for me are teenagers or in their early 20s, and they love social media, and they love that I let them have their mobile, and they love that they were part of my marketing efforts. And I had rules that they had to comply with, what they could post, what hashtags to use. And so it was a collective effort of me and my team that increased those sales. And of course, I compensated each one of those sales that came in through my employees. I gave them commission. So I really want you to understand that there's this whole level of broad hashtags, more specific, and then more laser focused and niche specific. And I love, Roxy, that you, like I do, have your own unique hashtag. And like one of my best hashtags that everyone listening can go in and learn a hashtag shit ton from is Subi Tips. So if you search Subi Tips on Instagram, you will get 80 to 100 different Instagram tips. And it's all about what Roxy said, is giving value and giving value to your community. So that was a long-winded answer, but there you go.
No, it's a great answer. I mean, really, people need to know how to use Instagram because, you know, and someone mentioned it on the timeline here in the Twitter chat. She's like, if I see F for F one more time, you know.
Right.
And we see it, and that was Kayla, by the way. Kayla, thank you for jumping in.
Sorry. I'm guilty of that.
No, it's you know what though.
We're all learning. We're all learning. I learn something new every day. I don't have all the answers, so it's totally
experiment. I understand why Roxy would do it, but I also understand the reasons for not doing it because you're not attracting really anything that's of value.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really get annoyed with anyone that asks for a follow. Here's my quote. You guys can tweet it out to the world. You should never, ever ask for a follow. You should earn a follow by giving value. And when you give value, people will come, people will like you, and people will comment, and your community will grow, period.
Well, I'm tweeting that right now because it is a fantastic quotable.
I'm going to retweet that.
Well, as soon as I can get it out, I will.
All my Twitter fans out there, you should never ask for a follow. You should always earn a follow by giving value. You can change it around any way you want.
We've talked a little bit about the hashtag, hashtagging in general and using that. But what about posting etiquette? Or is there an etiquette? Is there too much? Can you possibly post too much in one day? How spread apart should it be?
Great question. Yes. So to answer that, on my Subi Zimmerman account, I post 2 to 3 times a day because I know that my audience is okay with that. On the Instagram Expert, we post once a day. Same with Instagal Live. And on my Subi SBZ team, we post maybe 4 times a week. So it all depends on your account. How much time do you have to allocate towards your Instagram strategy? The reason that we post pretty darn frequently on Instagram is to stay top of mind, because that's where my followers like to be and like to engage with me as much as they like it on Periscope. And I monetize. I convert people from Instagram every single day to my email list. I get people hiring me for consults, and it's where I make the most money. So of course I'm going to go back for more of what's monetizing for our business. But to answer your question, you do not want to post with like 3 posts within an hour. Now, if you're at a live conference like we're going to be next week, Vinny, of course we're going to be over posting a little bit. But I always say to people, you can do a video, a 15-second video instead, or you can use an app like Flipagram or Diptyque where you can make it look like a scrapbook, and you can put 4 pictures of the same place and location in that post so people don't get inundated that you're, here I am with Brian Fanzo, and here I am with Vinny, and here I am with Amy, and now I'm with, Pat Flynn, and, it's like this, it's like a whole kind of speaker love fest posting going on. But At conferences, that's just the way it generally is. So I say there are exceptions to the rule depending on where you are, but people, if you clog up their feed with images, post after post, they will unfollow you.
Hey, I have a question. You addressed something just now when you were just talking. You said that you convert your Instagram community into emails. How do you do that? Do you use a third-party app? I'm just curious because it sounds like you're growing your database and it's working really well in terms of monetizing on it. But how do you get their emails and how do you take it a step further from just Instagram?
Yeah, so I really think Instagram is a natural sales funnel if you set yourself up for success. And so setting yourself up for success starts with your avatar. And Roxy, you've got that great avatar, especially on your travel page. It's like gorgeous, like beach photo. I tell most people that have small businesses and businesses to always have their face, because people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust, and I want to connect to you as the avatar. You might think if you were actually in that picture on the beach, you might even get a little bit more engagement, because people do like to see faces as much as they like to see beaches. Mm-hmm. So it starts with the avatar, and then it goes to the bio. You need to set yourself up for success in the bio, and I've got all kinds of ways that I could talk about what you need to do to have that set up. And then you should have a call to action. So if you look at all of my accounts, you will see I have a call to action, every single one of them. I am telling you exactly what to do in the bio, and often I use an emoji, the finger, or I use an arrow pointing down to a custom bit.ly link. And the reason I want to stress custom bit.ly link is because I want to track it. So you asked a great question. So on YouTube, of course I have a YouTube channel, Subi Zimmerman. I just did a video, how to create a custom bit.ly link. So for those of you listening and watching on Periscope and on Twitter, you're tweeting, know that I've got you covered with that tutorial. And the reason we know that we grow our list so well is because we track the links. So since January 2015, we've had 6,000 new email opt-ins, and 4,500 have come from Instagram. Crazy, wow. Right? Wow. And so now they're on our list. We send out a weekly newsletter, and we stay in touch with our list, and we give value to our list. And when I'm selling a new product, or there's an announcement, I'm speaking, I'm staying in touch. I'm building, a relationship with that list. I'm fostering that list, and it's been great. And we have converted a lot of people into paying clients from the way that we're giving value on Instagram. And in addition, when I post, not every post, but often you'll see me give a call to action. So call to actions will be, click the link in my bio. I often tell people when they comment, here's a trick. Are you guys all ready? This is going to be like the gold.
So Periscope, hold on, Sue. So yeah. Periscope, so there's quite a few people watching right now. I just want you to know. So go ahead and let everybody know your tip. So there's a tip.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm going to do?
Here we go.
Hold on. I'm going to, hey, Periscope peeps, I love that you guys are all here. Thanks for all of the new followers on Periscope. I'm just going to go into Periscope real quick and share this.
And
I gotta share this out to Twitter for you. Hold on. Share with all my followers. Okay. So here's my beautiful, beautiful tip. You guys ready? You're going to be like, I'm so glad I got on this Google Hangout. I'm so glad I'm on Twitter. Okay. So when I see that people have engaged in my content, they've literally double tapped, and then they left me a really nice comment endorsing the content that I'm sharing. And if they haven't tagged their friends, I ask in a very fun, playful way, with emojis, always with emojis, and if my friend Anthony is on here, Anthony Thomas, the Emoji King, I always use emojis because it makes it playful. I will say at Roxy for Travel, or I'm sorry if that's not your name. Is it Roxy
Travel
for Travel?
With Roxy.
At Travel with Roxy, please tag 3 of your friends who you know would love this value or this tip or this post. And every single time I ask someone to do that, I always leave a little emoji heart, or I'll leave a couple little emoji people, and I will let them know, because I can come across as being a little bossy, but I'm lovingly bossy. I'm like, it's the East Coast gal in me, you guys.
Me too.
So I ask people to tag on the post. And the people that I ask to tag are always the people who have commented. You want to know why? Because if they took the time to comment on my post, it actually endorses the post for me. I know that they really like the content, and so now I feel like I have permission to ask them to tag their friends so that their eyeballs get on the post too. And so I'm growing my Instagram account because of the way I do Instagram and because of Hello Periscope, and I love Periscope. I'm getting 100 new followers every 2 days on Instagram. It's pretty crazy.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
the audience, Sue, and it's a pretty good one, so I like it where we're at because you were talking about your business, Cape Cod. It's a small business, but Ross Kincaid says it's so much harder branding an organization than an individual. Do you have any specific tips for that?
Yeah, so what you need to think about as an organization, and I love this kind of going through this exercise, and I do this with a lot of my clients, and my team does this with a lot of our clients, is you need to think about 5 to 10 keywords in your business, okay? And let's put those in buckets, okay? So what are the words that describe you? What is the feeling that your business, your organization gives other people? So let me give you some examples of what people say about me, and if you don't know what those words are, do a focus group and ask them. So for me, it's high energy, it's magnetic, it's nautical, it's fun, it's being a collaborator, it's being a cheerleader for other people's success, and these are words that have come at me from asking people, what are the 3 words that you think of when you think of Sue B? So I ask people, and then I use those words in my imagery of what I create on Instagram. So it all goes back to what is the feeling that you want people to have when they land on your Instagram account. So with Roxy, holy guacamole, the feeling is I want to go to the friggin' beach in the Caribbean. Like, yeah. I want to take a vacation like stat, okay? Yeah. And so it's not just one photo that Roxy's showing us, but it's the whole feed. It's her, I call it the digital scrapbook. Everyone's Instagram account is essentially a scrapbook, and you get to go through the scrapbook. And so if there's a disconnect with a quote, and then it's your dog, and then you're doing yoga, and then you're eating a hamburger, and now you're on vacation, I have no friggin' idea what you do, so yeah. I'm not going to follow you because I'm not getting value in your content. Yeah. So you really have to think about, as an organization, what are your core values, and what is the visual imagery around those values, and what is the feeling that you want people to experience when you come in contact with them.
Actually, that brings me up to a question that I have for you. What is your feeling about using filters and then overusing filters? Like, some people will take a photo that's just an organic photo and pretty, but they will filter the crap out of it, and then they'll just make it look fake. So what, is there a balance between that, or what?
Again, it goes back to what is the look that you want to have, and I wish I remembered. There's a food account that I love where she uses a filter that is so the colors almost look fake on the food, but to me it looks like art. Like, she uses pinks and reds and blues, and I think it's like Food with Jenna. I have to go look for that account, but I'm okay with that because every single photo consistently has the same look and feel with the filters that she chooses. Personally, I like using, one of my favorite apps is Camera Plus. My daughter Lila, Fresh Fit and Fearless, loves ViscoCam, and I love using the tools right in the Instagram app to always, always, always brighten or add contrast to a photo. Because there is nothing worse on Instagram than looking at a photo that sucks. Period. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
There's no excuse to not have a good quality photo. There are so many tools that can help you.
I like the way that you called it art, because some of them really, it is art. If you use, art. Yeah, exactly. It's like a gallery. I love it. It's a digital scrapbook.
It is, and I am an artist at heart. You guys might not know this, Vinny. Like, I am an artist. I am a creator. I used to teach art classes, and so I see in visuals. I see visuals before words. This is why Instagram is so meant for me, because I process, just like people process visual content 60,000 times faster than text. So if you can capture their attention and elicit an emotion, you're getting there. You're attracting your ideal client. They're feeling some emotional pull to your business,
Right.
and that's really what Instagram does.
Speaking of filters, someone asked which one was the app that Lila likes to use. It was ViscoCam, right?
ViscoCam, and it's Fresh Fit and Fearless. That's my 19-year-old daughter who's actually creating ebooks as we speak right now.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely too. So
I'm following her right now.
And Sue, so here's another question because I have our special guest is going to jump in about. Oh, it's a special. I just leaked that out. So you're very opinionated on private versus public settings, and having your profile public or private. Is there? So can you let everyone know how you decide and why you decide to do that way? And before you answer it, I also want to say that there are some individuals that'll say something like, "Well, my job doesn't allow me. I don't want people to see what I'm doing." What's your take on that?
Quit your job.
Fantastic. I love it.
Nice.
Okay, if you're in business, you're not on private. Period. Private's for your family and your friends if you want them to see your album. If you're in business and if you're working somewhere where they're not letting you show like what you're passionate about, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine that.
So Paul, and I remember you saying something at Savvy Sexy Social Live in New York City. You were like, if you're private and you try to follow me, I won't even follow you back.
Yeah, it's too much time. I don't even know what you do. Like, I have to ask you for a request for you to follow me. It's like you're not seriously in business. And if you have limitations with your business, I say that there's always workarounds. I'm like the workaround queen.
Interesting. Going back to, I know we talked about the filters already, but I want to bring it back up because now I have a question for myself. But, I started looking at my photos over time, and they suck. My Instagram account sucks, period.
Talk to Roxy. She'll take care of you.
Clearly. But for the look and feel, for me, I've started to kind of use brighter photos. I've noticed those get a ton more interaction than the darker filters or the darker photos altogether. And it's a simple change. I mean, I increase the brightness, add a little bit of contrast, and all of a sudden people are liking them. And I really haven't done anything different besides that. And this is totally, I'm going back, but does that really make a difference?
It does. Well, Finny, first of all, you are really adorable, handsome, fun, funny. You've got such personality. You want that to all show through on Instagram, and I think you're amazing on video. And when we did that video in the street, I got a real good sense of your personality, and you want that to shine through on Instagram. So absolutely changing the filter and making it lighter, it makes it a little bit more enticing. And I mean, it's amazing what changing the brightening toggle, and it's for those of you listening that are newbies, don't worry, I got you covered. I'll just talk you through it. Is you want to go in to your settings, and it looks like a little wrench on the right-hand side, and you simply click on your favorite filter, and you just toggle back and forth. But the two things that you can do every single time, at least I do when it's not a perfect photo, is I always change the brightening, and I always look at the contrast. And I might even sharpen it. The sharpening one is the one all the way at the end. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to get a real high def on your image, you can sharpen the photo. And I love doing that as well.
Do you use video a lot or not really? Because I feel like that's one thing that I've never really gotten comfortable using on Instagram. I use it primarily just for Snapchat. But in what circumstances would you say video would be more ideal over photo? And do people like watching video on Instagram or not really?
Well, before you answer it, so I like to watch, and I've noticed this, The Rock. Dwayne Johnson uses video all the time, and I think I have to say, for celebrities, I don't follow a lot of celebrities anywhere. Twitter, Facebook, I don't. But I'm so enticed by The Rock's Instagram because he's so personable on Instagram with the video, and he's talking to fans, and he's behind the scenes shooting movies. So I want to say, I personally, The Rock, I want to shout out to The Rock if anybody can tweet that to him. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, first let me tell you 3 amazing video accounts that you all are going to have to go follow and see how powerful videos can be if they're done correctly. Video Meals, MEALS. It shows you how to make a meal in 15 frigging seconds. Crazy. They're edited. They're done professionally. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I actually chatted with the owner of that account, and he's going to contribute to my Instagram book. He's phenomenal. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is Zach King, ZACHKING, and do not kill me when you land on his account because you'll probably spend 2 hours there watching his entertainment. And then the third one, amazing, Rachel Ryle, who's an animation artist, and she's just crushing it. Now, Rachel Ryle, RYLE, she is amazing. She's an animator and a storyteller, and she does great video. Now, to answer your question, I probably do video every 15 to 20 posts, and I do it when I want you to hear my voice, feel my passion, and I have an announcement. So when I was partners with Amy Porterfield for her Profit Lab, I wanted you all to kind of sign up for the webinar and know how proud and excited I was to be included in that course. Here's where I use video more than anywhere else on Instagram, which is something I think Vinny and I were going to talk about a little bit, is direct messaging.
Yes, I want that.
Yes, go into that if you have time, because I would love to hear more about that feature.
Okay. So whenever I get new followers, for a long time, one of my strategies, and I haven't been able to keep up because you heard me say I'm getting 100 new followers every 2 days, so it's a hashtag shit ton of time to keep up with that. So I actually have a team, and I said, we go to Iconosquare, we look at all my new followers, and I send them a welcome video. So this is how it goes.
Wow.
You ready?
Yeah.
And you only have 15 seconds, so you have to do it really fast. So I said, thanks so much for following me here. Come on over to @TheInstagramExpert, where I share daily tips, tools, and strategy to anchor your brand on Instagram. Because I want to pull people from my personal account, Sue B. Zimmerman, to my business account, The Instagram Expert, because that is really the essence of where I give the best value every day in the space of teaching Instagram for business. So I welcome people, I thank them, and then I bring them over.
So do you send an auto message? So it is auto. So
I'll send you one.
Auto messages?
I'll send you a DM, Roxy. I got you covered.
Okay. Do you do that on Twitter? I'm just curious.
No, I do not do that on Twitter. I do not do that. I've done 30-second videos on Twitter if I've needed to do a little testimonial or a good little video that was longer than 15 seconds, because you only have 15 seconds on Instagram. I'll tell you a few of my favorite video apps that you can use to edit your video. So Video Hance, HANCE, iPhone. I think it's Android too. Don't quote me on that. I'm an iPhone gal. Ben Wong, the developer of WordSwag, does that. And then Pick, Play, Post. And so I use those to edit video. So you can upload music. You can change the filters. You can make people feel like they're watching a Hollywood movie. You can add sparkles. So you really can bump up your video on Instagram, and know that not a lot of people leverage video, so you will stand out. And now, when you scroll through Instagram, it automatically plays. You used to have to tap the video icon to have the video play, so when people are scrolling, the video automatically plays a loop, and it plays a loop, and it plays a loop. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to bring in someone special, and Sue, I know Sue loves this individual, because we're going to talk a little bit about how to grow your following, and I do want to be a little bit, look who we have. It's Danzo.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
That's my little present to you, Sue.
Oh, you can bring me Brian any day. I mean, Brian and I have been seeing each other every day on Periscope, so it's been awesome.
We have. I feel like we've been sitting there hanging out every day, all day. Jilly, Sue, and all the Periscope community. You guys are rocking it today. I literally was taking Instagram notes. This was awesome.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Did you guys see my twins and their friends? I did a little Periscope real quick. They were so curious. My 19-year-old twins.
It made me nervous. I didn't think you were coming in.
Honey, I got you covered. Don't you worry.
No,
I fulfill all my obligations.
So now that Brian's here, because I wanted to bring Brian in for this specific conversation, so for the next 15 minutes or so, I did want to talk a little bit about how to use, or how we are using Periscope to build our following, not just on Instagram, but everywhere. So Sue kind of just started getting into the Periscoping, and you're obviously phenomenal. I mean, you're no stranger to being on the camera. Brian and I have been dabbling with the live stream since these apps started. I want to know how you're using Periscope, or just tell the viewers how you're using it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want you all to know that I was seriously considering starting a podcast, and I wanted to do video. I wanted to teach Instagram on a regular basis. And my team, Brian loves my team, Rachel and Morgan, were like, Sue, we don't have the bandwidth to do a podcast because it's really like starting a whole nother business. And it requires so much time. And I'm not saying that Periscope replaces that, but for me, it gives me the outlet to teach, to share, and to connect on a daily basis with my audience. And I know that Brian feels this endorphin rush every day as I do. And as long as I can be teaching, because that's what I'm most passionate about, is teaching and empowering and helping as many people as I can understand the power of Instagram, Periscope allows that on my terms when I want, and it's amazing that in 30 seconds, 45 seconds, I have a global audience. And what that's done for me, and I've been using it very strategically for the past 2 to 3 weeks, and I will share with you, Vinny, in the streets in New York, you were the first, Brian was the first one that showed me at Social Media Marketing World on Meerkat, but you were also another one that showed me in New York, and I did not understand the power of anything as great as live streaming until I did it. And so the positive reinforcement I get every day. So let me tell you about some of the amazing things that have happened. My email list grows every day. My followers on Instagram grow every day. I am making money from people that are finding me on Periscope, and they're like, OMG, I need your course. OMG, I need a strategy session. I'm not going to reveal how much money I've made, but it's very, very impressive in terms of the return of investment in such a short period of time. And I'm not leading with the money ever. And I know that Brian is the same way, and we come from the same mold. I'm simply here doing what my life purpose is, and that's to help as many people understand the power of online tools like Instagram and Periscope.
Well, I mean, I think you summarized it right there. It's about bridging communities. And, it also comes down to this idea that, if you suck offline, you're going to suck online. But if you're awesome online, you have passion, you care about people, your personality shines through on pictures. No wonder it's booming on video, and I think that's why you jumped on it. I mean, it was so easy. I mean, it's amazing how some people struggle, and I'm not saying this can't happen where you can't learn to be better on the video and learn to be, but when you truly care, and it's that engagement. I mean, you were talking about making money, but I watched 40 of your Periscopes before you ever right hooked, right? We're Gary Vaynerchuk fans. You jabbed, you provided value, you showed Instagram tips. I mean, you were doing it nonstop, and then you said, hey, here's a product release. And my philosophy has been think like a fan, and you hit it out of the park. And you do it, and I think the question earlier about video on Instagram, here's the thing. When you look in someone's digital eyeballs, it is powerful because you know what? It is hard to fake this. And I think the reason the Periscope community is so raw and fun, and the reason it gets me excited is because the fake people can't figure out how to use it because it scares the crap out of them.
Right.
Yeah.
There's fake people, living in the land that they want to live on their past, and I mean, I think that's why, Sue, you're doing an amazing job of it, and people should follow your lead across the board because it's not about you're not selling anything, but you're telling your story, relating with people, and they're saying, what can I buy from Sue Zimmerman? I want to buy something from her, and I think that's the contagious part.
Well, what I love the most about the way Sue's using Periscope, and it was something that I hadn't thought of, is you're still using Instagram as, like you said, your sales funnel, but you're finding another way to get them over there without, like Brian said, selling it to them. You're not selling it. So you're doing everything on Instagram where people know you. So to me, I think it's a fantastic way to do things, and it's made me want to change up my strategy. Brian and I talked a little bit today about it live on Periscope. We did a hangout Periscope, and I think that Sue, people should follow that lead. Using omni-channel, not just sticking to one and burying yourself there, making yourself out.
Well, here's something I'm sure you both have thought of, but my business brain is all over this for so many reasons. There's no link on Periscope. Nobody gets distracted with what to click, where to click. So you need to do a good job to give that call to action. And the call to actions for me are always go join my free Facebook group, Instagram Results, because that is a place where I share content. And I know, thank you, Brian, for always going in there and dropping your value bombs in there. I appreciate it. And then I say, do you want my free strategy guide? Because I've got you covered if you don't know what to do on Instagram. And I'll say you can get it here. And I literally show on the computer where to go, because I'm a business owner at the end of the day, and I want people to come on my email list and know that I'm capturing them, but I'm giving great value, as you both said, because that's what we all want to do first, so that they feel like they can trust me. They know that once they download that strategy guide, which a lot of people say they would pay for, that if I'm giving that away for free, then I'm building trust, I'm building relationship, and I know that's what you both are all about.
And for those of you watching on Periscope or watching us live here on YouTube/Google Hangout, we have been tweeting it on hashtag MCO Talk. If you're on Twitter, we've been tweeting out that strategy guide too. So please go there and get it. Like Sue said, it's free. It's a great resource. It's a great tool to use. Follow the hashtag. It's been tweeted out numerous times tonight.
Something that Sue said there, I thought that was really important. She said, she has a strategy every time, and she's a business owner. You know what? And because something is real time, it does not give you an excuse to not have a strategy. And I think that's the part of the well, it's live streaming. I don't want to just get on there and waste my time. Well, no shit. None of us do either. We all have 24 hours in a day. But what Sue, this is what I love about what you do, and you do it really well. Is not only is it bridging communities, but you're upcycling great content. So you know what? You're going to provide great value on Periscope. Why not tap into your great community that you've already built on Facebook and on Instagram and bring them in there? But then you're also saying, hey guys, just so you know, this is what I provided there. You're not having to go back and create a new video to post it on Facebook or a new video to, and that's the key. I can't believe how many people still today go, well, I don't have time for Instagram. And I'm like, wow. And now we're going to try to fight them to get them on live streaming. But for me, it's all about prioritizing and strategizing on that, and then upcycling it. How many of your we were talking about this before, but I created a Pinterest board of all of my Meerkats and Periscopes that I've saved. I put them on Pinterest to have a board, and then I do screenshots like yourself, Sue, we're putting them on Instagram. And I think that's the key. And travel. I have a couple people on Meerkat that I've been following for a long time that are killing it with live streaming travel, and it's all about that engagement. But if you don't have a strategy and you're getting on live streaming with no strategy, you've already missed the boat. You can't figure out any of these social medias, because it's at the end of the day, you're a business owner. We all have 24 hours a day. I think that's what people are missing out and right now, and hopefully lessons like this and people that if it's a personal brand, it's a regular brand, tell your story, use all of these different platforms to do it.
Absolutely. I'm so with you there. Brian, I'm not super diligent with Pinterest, and I don't know if you knew this about me, but before I taught Instagram, I was teaching Pinterest on stage. And so as soon as I discovered Instagram, I totally became a convert and jumped into something that was just, I thought, easier. I thought it was just easier for me.
So I have two questions, and one is going to be for Sue, one's going to be for Brian. For Sue, Kayla, my favorite Canadian, speaking about long content, is that a good tactic to use? Would people really read long paragraphs on Instagram?
This is a question that I heard someone ask Gary Vaynerchuk, who we all love, on his podcast, and this guy was like, I hate when people leave long-winded stories. Well, guess what? Do you follow National Geographic? Because they leave a friggin' mini blog post, and I love it.
That's what I do. I just ramble on, but I tell a story with it. It's not just a bunch of nonsense. I kind of tried to go off of National Geographic, exactly what I did. So I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah, so you get 2,200 characters, for those of you that didn't know that, where you can essentially write, I call it a micro blog. This gal is not a good writer. This gal spells words wrong all the time. I have someone that writes my blogs. You can't be great at everything, and so writing's not my thing. However, on Instagram, I love giving additional value and call to actions that we talked about earlier in the description below. And if you are not rambling, like Brian said, you don't get on Periscope and you just chit-chat about nonsense, just like on Instagram, if you're giving value and added value to the visual content, then people are getting added value in their mind, and you're building trust, and you're getting a follower that wants to come back for more.
I mean, I think what you said there, creating a story. So Kayla, thank you for the question. If not, that's a great question because a lot of people have said that. Now, my other question, Brian, you and I are going to answer this one very quickly because I have a couple. Actually, let me give a shout out first, a couple shout outs because there's a lot of people behind the scenes. So I do want to give a shout out to my MCO Talk community manager, Cody Stevenson. Thank you for everything that you're doing on the Twitter side of things. It makes it so much easier for myself and the rest of us to enjoy the conversation here, and I know that things are done. Ben Phillips, who helps me with questions every week, thank you, Ben. Honestly, invaluable resource for the show. And Rachel, on your side, Sue, Rachel is fantastic. She's been a pleasure to work with and, send back and forth some.
Thank you. Yeah, Rachel's awesome, and I salute my team every friggin' day. I would not be where I am without them, and I want the world to always know that it takes a village to rise to the top and do what you love, and I have an amazing team. So thank you for that.
Stephen Ford for hooking me up with this right here, this beautiful sign that was made for me, and he's also like the best promo guy ever. I mean, he's promoting here in Periscope. He's on Twitter saying go follow here, follow Sue, follow Brian.
Aww.
So thank you, Stephen, for an amazing job. The question that was asked on Periscope, Brian, and I hope I don't miss it. It disappeared. So someone asked to define a brand. Now, Brian is, if you don't know Brian, Brian is big on personal branding. We all work in branding to some extent. But what is a brand? And Brian, I'm going to let you answer it. Thank you, Kira Renee here. Brian, go ahead and answer what a brand is quickly, because some people have questions on, how are we defining it and how are we talking about it?
No, I love it. So, I mean, I think, we all have a personal brand, but I think when I think of a brand, I think there's kind of a twofold because, I mean, here's the deal. We all have a story to tell, and your brand is who you are as a personal brand. So it's the story about you. People want to relate with you, connect with you. And then the brand itself, when we're talking about a brand, it can be a small business, a big business, an enterprise, an IBM. For a brand, when we're talking about them, it's really the story behind what made all of those people coming together. Because remember, companies are great because they have great people. They're not great because they have one great product. They are great because of the people they have. So when we're talking about personal brand, nobody follows you on Instagram, nobody follows you on Periscope or on Twitter or comes to these things for an RSS feed, for a link drop, for you to just reshare every quote graphic that every other person shares. They follow it for you. You, the brand, you, the person behind the brand, you, the CEO. So for me, it's all about owning your story. That's why I love when Sue said about the storytelling aspect. And really, here's the funny thing about all that story that you're putting in one Instagram post. Right now we have this content overload problem, and the reason I love Snapchat is because of this acquired attention that you have to hold your finger down button. But if you get somebody to get on your Instagram page and they start reading, if it's valuable, they'll keep reading, and you just acquired their attention. That's huge. So why not take advantage of that? Call to actions. Sue talks about it. I mean, not only does Sue talk about it, but she's built 18 businesses doing this. So don't listen to me on this stuff. Follow her for that. But, I mean, that's the key for me. A brand is your story. The storytelling aspect of personal brand and branding cannot be underestimated.
I think if that, Kira, if that answers your question, I hope it does. If not, follow me and Brian and tweet at us. We are more than happy to go a little more in depth on that. I'm going to bring back, we are at the bottom of the hour, top of the hour, we're almost at the top of the hour here. Sue, I appreciate you being here. I mean, there has been so much activity on Twitter. There's been tons of activity here on Periscope. People are loving the insights. So I'm going to bring this one back because we haven't asked it in a couple weeks. You know, it's called the life hack, hashtag life hack. What do you do to set yourself up for success, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, yearly? And I'm going to start with Amanda because we haven't heard from her in a minute.
Yeah, sure.
What do you do? I mean, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be business related. It doesn't have to be anything. How do you put yourself in that mindset for success?
Instagram related or just in general?
In general, it could be anything. And I know Sue might have an Instagram, life hack, but in general.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for me, it's just really about being authentic and creating those valuable relationships. I think that's kind of why we started Social Road Trip, honestly. I found a lot of value in social media and in Twitter, and setting myself up for success is really just connecting with the right people and connecting with people in the same communities that I'm in with the same interests, very like-minded, and that in itself helps to strengthen me as a marketer and as a person, and just really helps define who I am, but then also collaborating. If you're able to merge two minds or more that are very similar capacity and they have a lot of potential, then you can essentially grow huge. And I think that is going to be successful in any way that you approach that through connections.
Great. Sue?
Yeah, well, that's a great sentiment to build off of. I agree everything with what Roxy said. And for me, gosh, I've been an entrepreneur ever since I was a young girl, and I just, it's this perseverance that I always have, and this level of confidence of being me and not giving a shit what anyone thinks about me. I really know that at the core of who I am, I'm a good person, and I really am someone who is always cheering for other people to be successful. And what has really propelled me in this online market space, which has been completely different than any of the businesses I've had my whole life, has been the power of the people, and not just the people online, behind my phone, on Instagram, behind my computer, and I know Brian lives this and knows this well, is physically investing in going to places and being with and shaking someone's hand and taking a photo, a hashtag photo, and being with them and touching them and hugging them and connecting with them. It's that real relationship. And I welcome, and that's when I travel, I always extend an extra day so I can do a hashtag Subi meetup and meet up with people, because the relationships trump everything else, and it's the in-person relationships that solidify the online relationships for me.
My life hack is going to be completely unrelated to social media. For me, it's something that I've had to really step back and understand, is that time away from the digital aspect of life and enjoying, which was, like Roxy said, part of the reason why I got involved with the social road trip. And Sue, you are officially invited to our DC road trip.
Yeah, come.
When is it?
It's August 7th through August 9th. Actually, Vin, why don't you do a little push right now for our Instagram page?
I will.
It's so relevant.
I will. So before I do my life hack and close off the show, if you follow Social Road Trip, all one word, on Instagram, you can follow us on Twitter. You can also follow us. We have a Facebook group that's very, very active. And Sue, what we've done is we've taken the longing that people have for meeting each other offline, and because what happens is we are so intertwined with these little squares on a screen that we fail to realize that there's people behind them, and that's why live streaming really I was turned on to live streaming, was because now people can see that I'm more than just this little square box, and I have personality. I like karaoke. I can do this. I can do that. There's different things I like to do, and it's helped me build my community. But Social Road Trip is even going even further, reinvesting in the relationship and going offline. And meeting up. So we have our first official Social Road Trip. Roxy, myself, Joel Renner, and Matt Hannaford were the 4 that came together and put this together. And we're going to DC August 7th through 9th. We are, Roxy and myself and the other 2 are working on planning some activities together to do things. You know, we talk to these people every day. But
every single day. We're always talking.
We've never met face to face, so
nuts.
The need for that. But my life hack, and you know, I am going to close out the show, but my life hack is really to get out there, is to make sure that I'm taken care of mentally, physically, and I'm working on myself and reinvest. You know, you can reinvest in relationships, but you need to worry about yourself first as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I try to do. But
that's great.
Sue, 30 seconds, anything that you want to add, any links that you want people to go to, please feel free to drop them now while we still have a captive audience.
Oh, thank you so much. I just, you know, I want everyone to know that Brian Fanzo and I and you, we're going to be together June 30th in San Diego. So anyone in that area, we would love, love, love to meet up with you. And yeah, I mean, you can, I mean, I'm so easy to find. And I honestly, I'm just like you all. If you chat with me on Instagram or tweet at me, I will make the time to connect with you, because I really stand behind everything I say here. So yeah, you've been tweeting out all my links, so I'm all good with that. Thank you.
All right, great, thank you, Brian. Thank you for jumping in. I mean, I'm gonna finally get to meet Brian face to face after, you know, almost actually over a year of interacting with Brian online. I finally get a chance to meet him in San Diego. So hashtag SMDaySD.
That's road trip right there. I mean, I've been working with Rachel for over 2 years. I haven't met Rachel, and I will meet her on Monday as well. It's me one hell of a social road trip to San Diego, and you guys are coming to the East Coast. I just moved. You guys, like, I moved from Arizona to Virginia, and the first road trip is DC. Man, I love you guys. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So for those of you that want to join me, Brian Fanzo, Sue B. Zimmerman in San Diego, we have a special discount code to give you. So if you go to socialmediadaysandiego.com and you buy the ticket, you get 20% off just viewers of this show. Whether you're on Periscope and you're still here, I waited to the end to give this live. And we're also going to be tweeting out a discount code, but it's SueB20. So SueB20 when you check out for 20% off. It is not an expensive conference by any stretch. Right now, tickets are $139. You'll get 20% off of that. It is an amazing, amazing day. Social Media Day San Diego in a beautiful venue, the Marriott Marquis Marina. We have Sue B. Zimmerman, Brian Fanzo, Pat Flynn, Ron Nash, Dennis Yu, Tyler Anderson, Maury Smith, John Loomer. There's tons of big names out there. You couldn't get this for that price ever. I mean, you couldn't get me for that price, and I'm nobody. So, you get to see Sue, Brian, and the rest of the crew for an amazing price. And then there's an amazing, amazing networking event afterwards. So please check that out. Sue, again, thank you. Brian, thank you. Amanda, Roxy, love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And join us next week. I will be live from San Diego.
Woo!
Maybe, hopefully, I can get Sue on again to be a guest co-host for me. That would be fantastic.
Oh, I'll totally do it. Yeah.
The schedules link up. But until next time.
She's shy in person. I don't know about that. She's very shy.
Until next time, this is MCO Talk. Have a good week.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.